Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I am your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes. First of all, we're going to talk about sellers right now, people getting ready to put their house on the market. You're going to want to text the word LIST to 623-AZ-RECON. That's LIST to 623-AZ-RECON. What you're going to also want to do is you're going to, because we don't want to repeat, but we're going to highlight them. But you are going to want to go back to Friday's episode. And as we talked about record level, contracts, buyers dropping out because I think we gave, because I think we gave some incredible nuggets, and one of them, Ryan, the importance right now, because it is not a seller's market. It is not. We have the number of transactions, the number of people entering the marketplace over the last month are down 2%. Not staggering, but they're down 2%. And so it's important to note as a seller, you've got to take care now. We're no longer in the days that I can just put my house up on the market. But you had, in 60 seconds, Ryan, I thought it was just a great strategy. If you're going to put your house on the market, get a home inspection.
Get a home inspection. We had also talked a lot about the strategies that the new home builders are using. They're offering amazing incentive packages, meaning that they're going to pay a buyer's closing costs. They're going to help buy down the rate on their loan. So not only can they come to the table with just their down payment, they can also have a monthly payment that fits their budget. I also think that there's some hard conversations that you need to be ready to have in terms of how to price your home. I think that there's a lot of people that are still trying to test the market. You don't want to try to test the market when we're entering a buyer's market. You want to hit the market hard. You want to hit the market fast, and you want to be accurate. You've heard us talk about the three things that you can control. And one of the three things is pricing, the other one is showability, the other one's availability. So price it right, make it ready to go, and then be ready to leave pretty darn quick when someone wants to show up and take a look at your home. Don't deny any showings. So there's kind of a quick little recap.
Yeah, and I want to dig in a little bit more to pricing, but I got lost in my notes. But as I was trying to explain, the number of people entering the marketplace, I know it doesn't seem like a staggering number, but we are down 2% over the last month. Mm-hmm. We are having less buyers entering the marketplace, and the number of properties, the inventory is going up on average about 1.5 to 2% every month. That's a huge swing. So we're having less buyers, more competition as a seller, and it is imperative that you have your house ready to sell, and that you've partnered and aligned yourself with someone that understands these nuances, understands the market, and has those strategies. Now, I would say for most agents, the hardest part, and I'm not going to say the hardest, one of the most challenging parts that we have in what we do for a living is sitting down with a seller. And sellers have an opinion of what their house is worth. Sometimes it's an educated opinion. Sometimes it's just they saw their neighbor's house up the street sell for X, so they assume that their house is worth X. But their house, the insides, the bone, or not the insides, but the insides and everything is not as good as the other house. But they just come to the table. And I think for a lot of sellers, and this is the worst mistake you can make. If you walk into it wanting to hear what you want to hear, you're going to struggle in this marketplace. And a lot of agents out there, they want the listings. They may not have been able to do all the research that we can, and some can, but they just want that listing signed, and they want that opportunity to get the house on the market.
They want a commission.
Or they're afraid, and this is what I think a lot of them struggle with. They're afraid to have the tough conversation with the seller. Sometimes we don't like it. Sometimes we need to be told our baby's ugly.
Yep. I think that our viewers should. I mean, I'm not laughing. You should really let that sink in. Like there's a lot of people out there that think that this is 2021, and it is not.
Not even close.
And I also think that one thing that you didn't mention, but I know a stat that's on there, is the days on market. I mean, it is
They're going up.
It's
what are we at days on market?
We are. It's on my
for the under 600.
Yeah, it's not on this sheet, but I believe because I just went over them last week for houses under 500,000. I believe it was about 106 days,
Wow.
but up 3 days from the previous month,
right.
give or take.
And I
4
feel like
hours.
a couple months ago we were at like 90 days.
And
It's
so-
going up. The point of the matter is it's going up.
And so, two things need to be said about that. If you know that you need to move by March 2025, don't wait until February 2025. Now, obviously, we all know what the ebbs and flows during the holiday season are, but you need to get your home on the market a little bit faster. On the flip side, the good news for you is you don't necessarily need to lower your price just because you haven't had an offer in 10 days. Okay?
That's a good point.
There's still a buyer that may or may not have entered the market yet, and so as we get deeper into this type of atmosphere, then it is okay to be stubborn on your price, so long as you've taken care of the controls that we just talked about. If you hit the market hard with fair pricing up front, and you have all the evidence in the world to support that number, stick with it. Right? Just know that it's going to take you a little bit longer, whether or not you make the price go up, down, or sideways. It's just what's happening right now. Now, of course, if you give away the farm, you're going to be able to sell your home in a week. But it just kind of depends on what kind of seller you are.
All right, if you're looking for strategies when it comes down to listing, and more importantly, it's more than what did your neighbor sell their house for 60 days ago. It's understanding what is happening in the market, where are the numbers going, what are the average days on market, what's the median home price in that specific neighborhood, how many buyers are entering the marketplace, and the other number we didn't discuss is month supply. I think that's also an important number, and if you look at all those numbers, it tells a story. Now, if I come to your house and I've already done a lot of research, and I have an idea of what we should bring your house to market at, but I'm going to ask you what you think. And if we butt heads and your number is way different, way higher than mine, because this house up the street sold for this, and that house down the street sold for this, my next question is, and I don't think it's been too many people that have answered yes to this question, but my question typically is, have you seen those houses? Not drive by, but I might go into those houses, because I'm going to take you into those houses. I want you to see how your flooring.
You want them to walk you through that?
Yeah, walk me through this. Yeah. I want you to compare
That's a
your
good
flooring
idea.
to their flooring, your countertops to their countertops, backyard to so forth, because Zillow doesn't tell the story. Walking it tells the story.
And my favorite is to walk them through something that's been sitting on the market for 90 days. So, which again is still not a crazy number, but if you're saying, hey Ryan, I want you to bring my home to market for $750, and all the data is saying it's at $675 all day, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go show you homes in the area that are going for $750 that have been on the market a little bit. If they exist in your immediate neighborhood, and it'll help draw a clear picture of this is what you have in store, and I'll be with you through thick and thin, so long as you're making good decisions and having a good attitude about these things. But I'm not going to help somebody walk into a sinking ship. Now, I say all this, and we say all these things. Let me be abundantly clear. I do not think it's a good time for you to sell your home right now.
I concur.
I think that if you are wanting to transact in this real estate market, you should become a buyer, not a seller. I think that there's going to be tremendous opportunity, and I think that you're going to. There's just those things that you can't control, like we talked about. We can't control who's going to enter the market. We can't control who's going to walk into your home. We can't control what kind of offer that they're willing to make or what type of contract they're willing to settle on. You can't control a lot of those things, but you can control whether or not you're being a buyer or a seller.
Yeah.
And so I think that if you're like, man, I want to play, I want to get in the game, then become a buyer. I don't care how many properties you own right now. Be a buyer and hold on to your portfolio for the most part. Now, there might be an argument to be made about some things, but if you have a 2 or 3 in front of your interest rate, then you have, in my opinion, no business entering the market as a seller. So there's my piece.
All right. So with that being said, I think I agree with you. I mean, unless there are reasons that you have to enter, because for some people they have to sell their home.
There's things that happen in our lives that force us to sell homes. Totally get it.
And I would concur. I would not advise you to put your house on the market. But if you have to, you have to understand competition. If I show up, I gotta be careful. Okay, I show up to a club, all right, and I'm ready.
You're talking like a dance club?
That's what
a
you're
disco?
talking about.
I'm talking about a club with ladies.
Oh, snap. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
A
Right?
gentleman, a titty bar.
Thomas, I don't know if we can say that.
For sure can.
Okay. I make jokes about your mom, and all of a sudden I'm the bad guy, right? You know. Okay. No, I'm not referring to that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm showing up. I'm on the town. I'm on the prowl, and I walk in, and there's one lady over there, and that's it. That's what I got to choose from. It doesn't matter what she looks like and what condition she's in, right? Mm-hmm. I'm showing up. I've had some cocktails, and we're gonna have a conversation. Okay, but
I hope
but
Mindy doesn't
I know.
watch this
But if I
episode.
show up and there's 3 women there, right? I'm gonna go up to the nicest looking one, right? Because and it's the same thing right now in this market. Somehow we're gonna turn this back into real estate. Is if you're going to put your house on the market, it cannot be homely. In 2021, 22, it could be as homely as hell. You now have got greater competition. You've got less buyers in the market. You guys, you have to have your house ready to sell. It's got to look good.
Bro,
It's got to stand out.
I gotta say, I'm so proud of you. This is like one of the best. This is like, so the metaphor that you just did. It's always cheeseburgers or something like that.
You really nailed it.
Yeah, and so like, dude, you're stepping up your game big time. I'm proud of it. So Mike walks into a strip club, right?
And there's a double cheeseburger, and there's a McRib.
What are you going for?
I should end this now.
I think that when we're building out a business on it, because I know that some of the people listening are listening to this as actual primary consumers. Some of them are listening to this as an investment approach.
And some of us are getting ready to message us.
No matter what, you're spending a lot of money on something. You need to put some business behind it, and understanding your competition is huge. And so that's why when you're a buyer, most of the time you're not just looking at one home. And as a seller, it's interesting how often sellers just put blinders on because they attach value to emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I understand you raised your kids here. I understand that there's on the threshold and on the door jamb that there's the heights of your kids all growing up, or oh, we had such a great time doing this over here. Nobody gives a shit about that. All they care about is what really they want to buy it for as little as possible, and they're not going to look at that. What they're going to look at is the bones of the property. They're going to look at the upgrades. They're going to look at how updated the roof is. Make sure there's no structural issues. They're going to look at all those things. You've heard us talk 1,000 times about inspections. That's what they look at, and then they also look at the data that goes along with what can they buy with that same budget. So if you are asking $750, they're going to look at every home in the area that's at $750. Who in the hell do you think that they're going to choose? They're going to choose the one with the best value. So understanding your competition is just good business.
All right, if you'd like some more information about topless bars and cheeseburgers, getting your house ready to sell,
Then text Mike. Do not text me.
go ahead and text the word list to 623-AZ-RECON. That's list to 623-AZ-RECON. Couple things I would just say, and I'll let you guys each chime in. Back to our earlier point, we talked about how, you need to take a look at, you need to walk into other homes. Open houses are important. Walk into other homes, see how they compare to yours, but see what it looks like when you walk in. First impressions are absolutely everything. If that house up the street is on the market for $700, and so you think yours is worth $700, and you walk in and there's no clutter, and the flooring is clean, and it's been freshly painted, and the countertops are upgraded, and so forth, and then you go back to yours, you're going to realize, okay, mine's not $700, so what do I need to do to make mine look like this, because this is my competition, because if I don't, I'm going to get lowballed.
Sure. And I think that the only other thing that we're really not talking a whole lot about is the intangibles, because the tangibles are that, hey, how does a home look, upgrades, so on and so forth, and then pricing. But the intangibles is how easy are you making it to transact? I mean, are you having a loud ass barking dog every single time someone's walking in there? Are you taking everybody out of there, giving them plenty of time to go and look at the property? If there's anyone that understands, well, not just actual tangible value, but actual intangible values, it's Justin. Because while you guys do a great job at matching or beating rates and having competitive closing costs, etc., you make it extremely easy to transact with you. I know that whenever I pick up the phone, if it's a reasonable hour, I'm going to get you or someone on your team on the phone. They're going to be able to speak competently and confidently about what your guys' programs are and help give them good guidance and consultation. They say, okay, I'm ready to submit an application. What happens? Boom, within an hour, their application is processed, and then you guys are able to give them some feedback or process a pre-qualification, and then boom, they're ready to go. So, like metaphorically speaking, we need to transpose that over to the real estate industry and make it easy for buyers to buy, and make it, and unfortunately, yeah, seller, it's going to take you a little bit extra time.
Yeah.
You're going to have to employ some more resources in order to make it easier for buyers to buy. So take that into account when just think about all the different companies that you like to work for or work with and transact with. Why is that?
Yeah, every time I see a listing and go request a showing, they're like, well, we're only showing homes Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays after 5. My first thing is, help me help you make money.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it difficult, because there are a ton of other homes right now, and my buyer is going to move on. I think the other thing, and I never asked, this strategy drives me nuts. So we got a client that I've been working with, found a home, wanted to go take a look at it. We're like, it's Monday or Tuesday. And the listing agent basically advised the seller, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to come a little bit lower to market. We're going to try to keep that competitive edge. So we're not going to let anyone come see the house till Saturday. Okay? Our buyer, is really strong and a lot of money. And that seller now will not get to see an offer from our buyer, because you've listened to your agent, you made it so damn hard for me to come and make an offer. If we're selling your house, we want offers. You don't have to accept the offers. You can counter the offers. But if somebody is willing to make an offer on your house, we want to see it.
What else, Justin? Like when you're walking in, what are you looking for aside from just the tangibles? Like what are you like?
I want the smell, the cleanliness is obviously, and that's normal, right? But the smell of a property, it's psychological. I always tell all my people that are refinancing their house. I'm like, this is an appraiser's opinion. Make some cookies.
Yeah.
Put out some nice candles. Make it look nice. Just the same kind of stuff that you guys tell people when they're listing their house. But if things are messy or there's things that look uncared for, most likely they've got it to that level to list it. So there's probably a lot more that you're not seeing. So when there's all this competition out there, I feel like putting in the extra time. It's the normal stuff though: decluttering, cleanliness, putting the lines in the carpet with the vacuum. Just going the extra little step there to show that you keep it clean. I think that's important. But you're trying to. I like to put it in. There's places, there's restaurants with dirty bathrooms. Okay, I will avoid those places altogether. I know they make good food. I know, but what's happening with the employees going to the back? My mind's going, but they only have a dirty bathroom. Everything else looks great. If they kept the bathroom clean, I feel like the whole experience is wonderful.
Oh, for sure.
But that's just a small piece of it.
Are you eating in the bathroom?
No, but I don't like going into a dirty bathroom. I'm just saying, like, I've gone into bathrooms where the toilet's like overflowing and I'm in a restaurant,
Right.
And I guess that's not a good point, but
it's a point.
it's something. Thomas,
Help me out here.
yeah.
I'm gonna put the wheels back on this thing because I think there's another thing out there that has when I'm a buyer's agent that I cannot stand, and I cannot stand that when I submit an offer, a listing agent will actually tell their seller we should hold off on responding to this offer because we have the weekend. Now, if you're not even on market yet, and you barely just got a sign out in the front yard and whatnot, nobody else knows that it's on the market yet, then there might be a little bit of validity to that. Or if you already have 30 offers in hand and you got it in the past 2 hours, then yeah, you might need to say, hey, look, we're going to talk at 5 o'clock. But if you are a seller and a buyer makes an offer, I don't care how low it is, at least give a verbal counter and respond quickly. And don't get emotional. It drives me nuts. So act like a professional and make sure that the person that you're working with is making it easy to transact. And that's probably the best piece of advice I could give you in this in a buyer's market.
I agree because when you're responding, you're not having to accept.
Sure.
You're just responding,
Yeah.
acknowledging it.
Communicate.
Alrighty, well, right after this, Justin and his wife are coming over to our house for dinner, so I got to go home and make sure my bathroom's
Make sure the
clean.
bathroom's
like,
clean.
like everything else is going to look like a hellhole, but
Yeah.
man, you're going to be able to eat off
You're
my
gonna
toilet
bake some
seat, bro.
cookies.
Yeah.
Listen, make some cookies and have
Put some
the
lines,
bathroom. It's
put
not
some
cool.
lines in the carpet. Yeah. He's judging.
Wow.
All right.
Next time I'm sitting out of these conversations. This is not my area.
All right, well, if you'd like some more information and strategies to getting your house ready to sell and navigating this current market where we are having less buyers enter the market and more sellers and more listings enter the market, if you'd like some of those strategies and sit down with one of our real estate wealth managers, all you got to do is text the word LIST, L-I-S-T, to 623-AZ-RECON. That's the list, to 623-AZ-RECON.